Hey, hello YouTube. It's the intellectual line cook again. Let's have a discussion about Rick Scott and Florida's unemployment karma. Now, as you all know, with this little virus thing going around, it's going to shut down our economy. It ironically enough for white people, now they're starting to recognize how fucked up our welfare state really is, how messed up our unemployment program is. You see, when it was just black people who were struggling to get unemployment, we were seen as those lazy Negroes who don't want to go out and get a job. They'd smile at us not being able to get Medicaid and stuff like that. A lot of rednecks go, yeah, that's good, yeah. Who were cheering on Rick Scott to block Medicaid, to block the Medicaid expansion, and make unemployment hard to get. Now, how ironic this virus comes around and it equalizes everything. These same white people who were cheering that shit on are the same ones getting frustrated like we would. You see, with Florida, the most you can get is $275. No matter how much money, if you didn't make a whole lot of money, you get even less than that. The cap would be at 12 weeks, Windows once at 20, with 26. Rather than Rick Scott having businesses pay the taxes, and because Rick Scott's a racist. Let's just call it what it is. He didn't want to make those businesses pay, so he decided, well, I'll set up the system for it to fail and for people to save money. That cumbersome. Well, you got to find 5 employers a week. That's a lot of work for the fact that you might not get the job that you want just to keep the motherfuckers happy. You miss one employer, or you miss one report, your benefits were gone. I mean, you weren't likely to get them in the first place. I filed for them recently, shortly before this Wuhan virus and stuff broke out, because the job I was working at, laid me off because it filed for bankruptcy, but that was before the virus. But now, because of the virus, I have a hard time finding work. I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I mean, I'm not in as bad a shape as a lot of other people. I have some brain power. I have enough brain power to save up money and to keep money for myself. This way I could still pay my rent. This way I could still pay my my health insurance. This way I could still pay for my car insurance. And this way I could still pay for my phone and etc. I'm a little bit more fortunate than most. But the point is, rednecks cheer when you get denied welfare, because they think, well, yeah, now you got to go out and get a job. To imply that somehow you asking for benefits means that you're too lazy to go out and work. And now many of these same white people who were cheering on Rick Scott are finding out the hard way that, hey, y'all need some welfare, but the very same stuff you voted for is coming back to bite a lot of the white Floridians on their asses now. Now they need something. Isn't that ironic? Florida has some of the stingiest unemployment benefits in the nation. There's only 4 other states that are worse than Florida: Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arizona. Now, notice 3 of those 4 states are in the deep South. Anytime a welfare program is hard to get in any state, it's usually in states that have very high black or brown populations. Florida's no exception with welfare being hard to get. But the ones that are even harder, like Alabama, Mississippi, like the states, Louisiana, 3 of those 4 states have very high black populations. Put 2 and 2 together. Whenever something's hard to obtain, you better believe race always plays a role in that shit. But now that white people are fucked up, guess what? Oh, all of a sudden, we got to give them $600 a month. We got to give people $600 a week. Whoa, hold the fuck on. When I was busting my ass, fucking working on a whole line by myself, when I should have like 2 or 3 people working with me and doing the fucking dishes, I wasn't getting that. I was getting like 500. So you're gonna sit. See, now that white people are fucked up. Notice how they changed the rules. And Ron DeSantis is getting a lot of heat now. See, them same white people didn't have a problem when I got denied. Because I always felt like, well, you know, it's going to keep you working. It's for your own good. It's so you could pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Look, there's a reason why the federal government puts a cap on unemployment benefits. But to slap poor people in the face and try to lecture to us when we get denied something and say, well, you know, we want people to work. We don't want to disincentivize people to work. Now you understand when somebody gets unemployment. Now a lot of white people are fucked up and ain't got nothing. A lot of y'all starting to understand when somebody applies for unemployment, he ain't applying for it because he wants a free check. He's applying for it because he wants to pay for his car. He wants to pay for his medicine. If his shoes break, he needs to pay for that or something like that. He can't walk around barefoot. I'm sorry, but black folks, we are not cavemen. That's what y'all white people do. Y'all fucking run around with fucking bare feet and shit. You don't never see no black man run around with no bare feet. Fuck that. He could be psychotic and crazy. He ain't running around with no bare feet, though. That's a white people thing. How does it feel? But I'm going to get on to Rick Scott now. Now, isn't this ironic? Isn't this to hear him say, well, we want to keep people incentivized to work. He, of all people, can't tell nobody what the fuck they do and do not deserve. I don't give a fuck about him growing up. See, white people love to do that shit. If they grew up poor, they'll throw in your face to shut you up. You ain't gonna shut me up. There are black people who are poor come up too, and they don't have nearly the selfish attitude that dude's got. It's white privilege, pure and simple. And let's also talk about all that. Let's talk about him being in the center of the nation's biggest Medicare scandal. How is it that a man can plead the fifth and not testify against himself? That means, to not testify against yourself. How is it that you can do it scores and scores of times and still be found not guilty? What do you think Rick Scott did with that money? He pocketed, that's my fortune. Nah, that's money you stole from the taxpayers. Now, isn't that funny? You think you got a right to steal from this dude? Think he's got a right to steal from the taxpayers? But yet, by overcharging Medicare, remember he's ripping off people like me, and you, and yes, white people, black folks pay taxes too. Despite what some might think and say about us behind closed doors, we do pay taxes. I just thought I'd keep it a buck with you guys. But this dude wants to steal. Here I am as a poor person, fucked up. And I just need a little bit of help. And we can't let you get it. That Florida system's a bitch, boy. But he designed it that way. See, what it was, DeSantis was arrogant. He didn't think this virus was going to fuck shit up the way it did. And it did. And it did. And now many of them same voters, hey, we need some help. Now all of a sudden, they got to deal with the same bulky, messed up system that we had to deal with. You made your bed. You got to lie in it now. This is the Intellectual Line Cook, and I'm fucking speaking.